Hey guys, so today I'm going to be spinning the silk that we got in the June Paradise Fibers subscription bag. This is some of the silk top. It's not quite as pretty as it was when it came out of the bag because I've been handling it quite a bit, but going to work on getting this spun up. I'm probably a little over halfway through the bag, and as you can see, it's spinning very, very finely. Now, silk is different than wool. It does not have the little grippy scales on it to help hold it together. So drafting is just a little bit different. It can feel sort of sticky and can be a little difficult to draft. But I think by now I've kind of gotten the hang of it. I'm going to think that I have anyways. I have read some things that talk about spinning it from the fold, and I have yet to figure out how to do that, so I just kind of said, well, I'm going to wing it and hope for the best. So to help make sure I'm drafting it evenly, I'm pulling out and letting the twist build up here, and then kind of letting it spring in. I've also done a little bit of this sort of long draw, and it just almost feels like it is one long piece that continues to just stretch forever and ever. I found this was helped me a little bit more with my consistency, and it's honestly taking about the same amount of time, because with the long draw I was having to kind of pause and go back through and work out thicker spots and thinner spots. So for me anyways, at the moment, I have found that a slow and steady approach has benefited me more. Now, silk likes a lot of twist. That's why I've got my wheel going pretty fast. And because I am going for a lace weight, it needs a lot of twist to hold it together. Okay, so I let it get too thin and the single broke, but I've got it not tied back in. Anyways, I've got it rejoined. There we go. Words are hard sometimes. It's not that the silk is really difficult to spin, I would say. Just that it is a whole different animal, no pun intended. But It is quite different in wool than wool in how it feels, how it drafts, I mean, just everything about it. It is a very strong fiber. That's why you see a lot of wool silk blends. My advice to anyone that might be spinning 100% silk for the first time, like I am, because I have had some wool silk blends, but this right here is the first time I have spun 100% silk. My advice would be to make sure your wheel is oiled. If you're doing it on a drop spindle, that's not going to apply, of course. But I would make sure on the drop spindle that there are no rough spots, because it will catch on those. If you're spinning it on a wheel, I would make sure there are as few rough spots on your hands as possible. Give your nails a good filing, because it will catch in those. And I would especially say to remember to keep your posture in good order. Keep your hands relaxed as much as possible. You will wear your hands out and they'll get sore. And then just have patience with yourself. I heard someone say it once, if we wanted perfectly consistent yarn, we could just buy it at a store. There would be no point in hand spinning. So I try to work out some of the lumps and bumps and slubs and things, but mainly that is because I'm going for a lace weight and I have a particular project in mind for this. But at the same time, there is no way to get all of them. You have to learn to embrace the lumps and bumps in our yarn, just like we have to learn to embrace them in life. They're gonna be there. We can either fight them, or we can roll with them, or spin with them, as it were. I'm going to finish spinning this up. It is probably going to take me a couple of days, but my plan is to attempt to chain ply this. From everything I've read, using a center pull ball is kind of like asking for a nightmare. So I'm very hesitant to try that. But I'm also hesitant about trying to wind this off into 2 equal lengths and then get those plied up. I might end up doing that. I don't know. But I believe as of right now, my plan is to chain ply. And I've yet to find anything online about chain plying silk, so there might be a reason for that, and I might be asking for trouble in trying it. but if nothing else, we will all learn something about it. So I'm going to stop here, and I will pick back up when I'm ready to start the chain plying. Alright, so I've got my silk single all spun up, and I do not have a lazy cape, but what I do have is a simple little produce basket. So I took a bamboo skewer and ran it through the bobbin after I took it off my wheel, and then I did to give it not so much tension, but just to hold it in place, I took some scrap yarn and I put a slip knot in one end, looped it around one bamboo skewer, went under the basket to keep it from getting tangled up with the single, and looped it around, and then went back over and did just kind of a half hitch to hold it in place. So we're not gonna, hopefully not gonna have it flying away. So now I'm going to get the camera set up, and we're going to attempt chain plying. Alright, so I have my leader set up with a loop in the end. I do want to give credit where credit is due. I watched a video by Trish at Fiber Love Diary. And I'm going to attempt to mimic how she did it, and I highly suggest her channel. I've learned a lot. I also watched a video from Jillian Eve just to kind of reinforce the whole concept of chain plying. So I have my leader loop, and I'm going to pull a loop through. I'll make sure I get my hands right. I'm going to put this, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put this loop through and hold it with my right hand. Okay. And just for my own comfort, I'm going to tighten this on that. I can always cut it to get it out later and put a new loop on the front of my leader. Alright, and then she suggests getting it spinning, which I need to do anyways to get my leader on the bobbin. When I said this is the first time I'm chain plying, I really mean it, and I'm kind of figuring out as I go a little bit, but I want to show that if I can do it, anyone can do it. Oh, this is becoming a mess. Alright, so here we have it. I ended up with 457 yards and some change. Just a little bit over that. And I'm pretty satisfied with my first shot at chain plying. I'm going to zoom in here so I can turn my flash on. You can see just how shiny that is. I did have a couple of small little spots like that, but overall not too bad. The yarn seems to be very balanced. It hangs very straight and doesn't try to wind back up on itself, and it's quite squishy. Yeah, so I hope that you have learned something or possibly been inspired to seek more information on this. I am by no means an expert, and that's why I referred to Jillian, Eve, and Trish from Fiber Love Diary. They are much more experienced in chain plying and many other things when it comes to spinning and other fiber arts, so I encourage you to check them out, and I appreciate you joining me today. See you guys later.